We did it again. Bangkok got you now. And so welcome to Bangkok, one of those places everybody has heard of, everybody has an opinion on. And I have to tell you that depending on how you do the city and how you visit, there is a reason why some fall in love with it and some don't have the best impression. They might think like, hey, it's a bit dirty, it's a bit dodgy. Today, I wanna give you a bit of a walkthrough of how it looks right now in 2026, what is new, what has changed, what is going for the better, what is still kind of like the dark side of Bangkok, maybe even in some ways, because I have actually friends coming to visit, and with that, I get the unique chance of one of those cities that I know for a very long time to hit up a bit more the touristy areas, also see what is going on there. But right now, I am actually standing on the roof of one of many brand new developments right by pretty much kind of the Central Park of Manhattan, of Bangkok. A little bit Manhattan vibe it gives you always, especially from up here. This is the Central Park Mall, right where pretty much the most iconic building of Bangkok used to be, the Thani, one of the first skyscraper in the city. And let me just take you for a little walk. I don't know what is gonna happen over the next 2-3 days that I'm here. Already spent a good week. The middle of, what would you say? A botanical garden, a museum, an art installation. Well, this is actually crazy. Right around the corner here, last time I was in Bangkok, I was like, wow, I'm in love with all of the new concepts that are opening up in the city. Just a little walk down the road from the One Mall, crazy architecture, all the shops, all the conveniences, but also like a nice open space. They're opening something that is even more impressive. This is the Central Park Mall, and it's kind of right in front of the Thani building. And when I first walked in, there was a little bit of a history lesson, let's say. And this is what I think is truly one of the best in the world, the way they're making their city livable. So inside, super modern, we're speaking glass, metal, mall, just stores, convenient, nothing crazy, not even like pulling the rabbit out of the hat to make it like, whatever, oh wow, look at this crazy mall. No, functional. But here is a nice greenery space of multiple levels. I've been walking up here for already, I don't know how many, like 20 minutes. And you see the whole city from here, and it is an open public space that people can use, go for a walk, have lunch. Tourists love it, and it is beautiful. So the Central Park Mall, I believe it opened just like less than 6 months ago. And that is truly Bangkok at its best. You know, these are always the moments where once again I'm thinking to myself, can I ever really live somewhere in Europe, US, places I've spent a lot of time in, places made for people, public spaces. You turn an urban jungle and give it a little oasis, and you allow anybody and everybody to experience it. So this is how the mall looks inside. Like I said before, it's like, that's what I actually like. It's so clean, pretty simple, very modern, like nothing even that crazy about it. Super functional. The Central Park Mall. This escalator here is a work of art. Wow, even gets your eyes a bit like, whoo. Hey guys, let's be honest. One thing none of us really want to talk about or think about, what if something goes wrong? What if you end up going to the hospital? What if you need a doctor and you're somewhere at the end of the world, you're not sure how much it's gonna cost? Well, to keep the peace of mind, this is why I've partnered up with Safety Wing. Safety Wing is a travel and a medical insurance that covers you pretty much globally. And even back in the day, long before they sponsored the channel, I already been using their product. Safety Wing Essential for any unexpected illnesses, hospital stays, emergencies. If you go on a trip for a couple of weeks or even months, it's very flexible. Also, it's priced very competitively. It's fairly affordable. But if you want to do a bit more similar to me, living around the world truly long term, you want to go to doctors, you want to choose them yourself, you want to be covered for serious things like cancer treatments, even like mental health support. So basically check out their website. There's going to be a long list that is covered with Nomad Complete, and that is a proper comprehensive medical insurance that covers you globally. So I will link it first thing in the description. Just check it out. You can set up a free account, so a service provider that understands the need of a traveler and a person that lives remotely. Check out their different plans, and well, thank you to Safety Wing for supporting the videos. It will be the first link in the description. And without a doubt, one of the most fun things you can do in Bangkok is take a scooter taxi. So I would say let's hit the streets. I'm gonna take you along today. Actually, very different plans. Something that I didn't think I would ever do in Bangkok, ever. We're heading there. But first, let's stop by the Lumphini Park that we saw from up there. So last year, I've showed you the One Mall, extremely nice development, right there. Right now in front of the entrance to the Lumphini Park, truly one of my favorite places. Last night I actually walked in the evening, completely different vibe, so many people dancing. In the morning it's quiet and you get the giant lizards. I hope I have a shot of them for you. And here you do hear obviously the traffic, but once you're inside, you have such a peaceful oasis inside of a mega city, truly. And this is what makes Bangkok pretty special for me in Asia, that you get the buzz, you get the busyness. There's always something happening, but at the same time you can escape it a little bit. But that is not what we're gonna be doing right now. I'm gonna meet the boys. We're gonna go to one of the roofs. Probably the most famous and infamous roof in the world, maybe. Let's go. Escort us to the bar, yeah. No need to get excited, please. It just shows us the way. It looks pretty good. It's good, man. Like I said, I had no idea about how it looks because it's hard to say from online content. Quite excited. Actually pretty moody. A bit old school, but... Sawadika. No, it's nice. Renewed furniture, beautiful. Sawadika.
We have 2 more people.
Are they already here? So guys, this is the 52nd floor here, and it looks like they have another one on the 64th. We have friends here. Yeah.
Which bar? Because we have 6 bars here.
6 bars, huh? We did it again. Bangkok got you now. So official first impression, it is a solid, airtight tourist trap. No, it's beautiful. The view is actually crazy nice, but the prices are exorbitant. We're speaking like $20, $30 for a beer. Worth it to come up, but you do have to say it's one of many bars. This famous column is actually under construction right now. And with everything in this location, still might be one of the best bars, but you see all the skyline. You can find that in Bangkok in many places, and also kind of like the crowd. Half of the people here probably saw the Hangover movie, and that's how it looks upstairs. Show me the menu, boys.
Alter, ich dachte, das kam.
Yeah, get your sign.
Let's do a little review. Give me an honest opinion of the bar. Be honest.
I had less expectations. It's way better than I thought. It's
Really?
amazing. Because in
The view, right?
The view is, and of course to be with the right people. I'm happy to be here with you, man, and also some other friends. And
But honestly, the staff is horrendous.
I was thinking.
The staff are
The staff are you can still enjoy the view. The view is basically for free. I mean, the mojito was quite expensive, especially for Thailand.
How much? $40?
I think it will be like $40 in the end. For
Nice.
Thailand, it's outrageous. But the
So-
thing is that
It is outrageous for Bangkok also.
it's not. I thought it's gonna be mainstream. I was not sure, but it's pretty nice.
The view can only be incredible in this kind of Bangkok location. Well, I think this is the first time I've driven a tuk-tuk in Island. Woo. So off the Level 1 Tower, they catch you, of course. Next up, Chinatown. Oh, that's all of it. This long street. And so we have arrived in one of the busiest areas in all of Bangkok. I have to say, usually I'm really not a fan of these like super touristy areas. This is Chinatown, Bangkok. But this is one of the few Chinatowns in the world that I feel like are actually really a buzz. It is very touristy in the sense that tons of people, just kind of like street food, little stalls. But it's still a vibe. You have real food from Thai to Chinese to really everything. Even like a bunch of stores where there's like often lines, like Michelin or whatever maybe. And yeah, let's go for a little walk, get some food. Actually selling durian everywhere on the street. And so these are kind of the parts of Bangkok that never change in a good way. I remember I was here like maybe like 5 years ago for the first time. Still the same spot, still the same prices. So definitely one of the busiest and probably one of the few touristy areas in Bangkok that I think are good.
I think it looks better if I film in this direction.
That's right, that's right. But I don't care. Let's try to cross. Come, let's cross. Yep. 2-3 years Dagestan. We'll be fine. So guys, it's quite interesting. A little bit behind the main Chinatown street. Right now is 11:30. And for the last 30 minutes, we've been walking around here, get a little bit of street food. They have been setting up these stands. It's kind of like fake perfume, fake clothing. God knows what else they're selling here. And the weirdest thing is, when we came on the street, I first thought it's closing, but no, they're opening at 11 p.m. I don't know.
Wholesale 100 baht. This is wholesale 80. You can meet by 380.
I have no idea if this is a daily thing. Maybe it's a weekly one. But basically, yes, they're selling all kinds of counter, brand stuff. And just regular like chains, different stuff, caps. And the prices are ridiculously low. And it starts at pretty much midnight, 11 p.m. right now. It's really crazy. It's weird. I don't know if it's like a once a week thing. But yeah, it's nice actually. Just in terms of the energy mostly. Kicking off the morning in the local Bangkok neighborhood. Just found like literally absolute side street cafe, nothing going on, and then you get this actually really nice spot. Some creativity behind it, I would say. Even got a pool. What are we looking at here? Let's see. Yeah. It's a bit premium priced, but still. Spaghetti. There we go. You wanted Italian, right? And on the weekends, a place I probably would never really come to, but with the friends in town, a very famous market. I actually think if you come for the first time to Bangkok, it's one of the places you might want to check out, the Chatuchak weekend market. It's one of the bigger markets. It's like really local clothing, food, a little bit touristy in the sense of like even the food is kind of like a little bit freaky, a little bit funky. But if you are into like Thai produced clothing, it's super affordable, not the best quality honestly, but it's unique. It's not the usual run-of-the-mill stuff. The Chatuchak weekend market, every Saturday and Sunday. Is it good?
Very good.
Next morning, back at one of my favorite places, probably in the world, you could say. It's nothing too crazy. The Central Park I earlier mentioned and showed you. Actually did some shopping. In Thailand, you can also get tax-free, 7% on electronics, can be worth it. And this is pretty much the center of Bangkok, where I feel like the city is quite livable, like truly no other city in Southeast Asia. It is such a wild mix of very raw around the edges. You have some neighborhoods that feel like the future, where you're thinking to yourself like, hey, I can never live like in Europe or even in the US again, because yeah, they might also have a nice mall, but here you literally have these neighborhoods that are just, in terms of convenience, next level and much more affordable. But I think I've already mentioned that in some ways, Bangkok is truly, I wouldn't never call it like a cheap city. In Asia, it is a little bit one of the more expensive ones. But in terms of value, I think it's still fantastic. And talking a little bit about yesterday, for me, it's actually funny. It's funny to the extent that I've been in Bangkok probably, if we count all the layovers, maybe 30, 40 times in the last 10 years. Sometimes I stayed for a couple of months, sometimes just passed through for a day or two. And with that, I've never did a lot of the touristy stuff. I never thought I would go to the Labua Tower. It's like one of the most famous rooftop bars. But if you think about it, there's not that many tall buildings right in that area, at least not publicly accessible. So yeah, the drinks, you know, like started like whatever, $40 for a drink, which in some other bars might be common as well. But the bar itself, I would say, I cannot recommend, to be very honest with you, as like from like service and just the ambience. It's an old bar, but in terms of the legend factor and in terms of the view you get if you count it as a, let's say, entrance fee, I think it was a pretty cool spot. It was a fun day yesterday. And then off to Chinatown, and yeah, let me show you a little bit on my day-to-day. Wow, this is so nice. They did the gardening so nice. Let me show you a little bit how the day-to-day in Bangkok has been looking. I'm actually leaving the city today after a good 10 days. It's also the first a little bit more regular, you could call it, Bangkok type of day where it's slightly cloudy. That is a solid size. I was here a couple of days ago. Now that is one group meeting of giant lizards. They're feeding them with something. Here a little bit as a tribute to the fact of how, again, I wouldn't say Bangkok is growing that quickly, but it's always evolving. All of these buildings, the big one and the one next to it, that is the mall that I showed you at the very beginning. That just last time I was here, I really enjoyed the view already. It was a construction. One is finished, that's the mall, and the big building looks absolutely crazy. Looks actually like this might be, I don't know, new tallest building. I don't think so, but definitely high up there. We are in the center, and as you see, there are still some places that is always actually quite interesting. On the one side, you have like, you know, like small, little bit more boutique buildings. And here, I've stayed here actually, I think, not last time, but the time before I was in Bangkok, stayed at the Kimpton Hotel up there. It's quite nice. They actually have a nice rooftop bar, super modern, skyscrapers, and a bit old school. As you see, some kind of new huge residence is coming. So by the time we're gonna be in early 2027, it's probably gonna be up already. But yeah, remember there's a super nice garden. Let's walk through here. The boys have actually already left to Koh Samui. I'm going tomorrow morning. That is the plan. That is the plan for this time in Thailand. I've been in Koh Samui in 2022. Didn't like it that much. We'll see how I'll feel about it this time. I haven't been in Koh Phangan in 4 or 5 years, and I have never been to Koh Tao. So this is the triangle, the trifecta for Thailand this time, and I'm quite excited because Koh Tao, back in the day, whenever I heard about it, it was kind of like, hey, it's for diving, so I never was too curious to go, but recently I see so many nice visuals. I hear it's a small island. I'm sure it's going to be pretty touristy, but I've never been. I want to check it out, so we're going to be spending 2 or 3 weeks on the islands and starting it off in Bangkok. There, guys, just take a look. This place is wild. I remember being here. So basically you got this greenery park, and in the back this super unique hotel number 1, and I probably have a couple of B-roll shots from the Kimpton over here. So yeah, 2 crazy nice hotels. Oh, here we cannot walk through, but well, that is indeed quite an interesting visual contrast. We have some kind of Louis store, people praying next to it. We made it into the central neighborhood, to Siam. It took me a couple of years to understand. First of all, you don't say Siam, you say Siam. And Siam is the local old word for Thailand. So here the area is like, in some ways very futuristic, in other ways kind of a little bit like grungy in a way of these kind of things passing through it. Wow, like a very, very flamboyant building, and it's called Gay Sorn. Interesting. Interesting choice. It looks fabulous. One thing you do have to love about the center is that it's all connected by these sky bridges. So basically, at least I think you can walk for half an hour, if not even longer. I think there's a gap in between, and then there's another one of these bridges, but basically wherever in the center you are, on the bottom you have the big roads, and then all the different buildings and malls are connected by these walks. I would say this was Bangkok. 2-3 days coming out of the Apple shop right now. This has been actually around, I think, since the first time I was here in 2017, but still doesn't get old. Just checked on things. Like I said, you can get a nice tax-free easy in the airport, so considering things, and this is one of the main areas, one of the, at this point, you could say even more old school malls. They always have some type of other installation, the Central World. And honestly, I think you would need a month by itself if you just want to hang around these malls, but I always like to do a little update video if I haven't been in the city for a year or so, because especially in a city like Bangkok, always something new pops up. And even if in today's video, I did pretty much the newest additions to the city in forms of the Central Park Mall and, let's say, an old classic that for some people might be worth it, for others maybe not as much, the rooftop bar I showed you earlier. I will link below the episodes from the last couple of years. I think every, like, pretty much, I don't know, maybe 15 months, not exactly every year, I do a little bit of a new video, and together as a collection, maybe I should publish them also, me also looking always a little bit different. You can check them out if you're interested to see a bit more of Bangkok. And if you're new here by any chance, generally I document here my life, but under the premise of living around the world and building a life of freedom. And I do have to say that sometimes it's easier to look at your preferences when you look back and you look at your own actions. Because in Asia, there's really only 2 places that I keep going back to whenever I look for comfort, for convenience, for value, and also for excitement and lifestyle, and just to see what is new. And that is Bangkok and Bali. Every maybe 2-3 years I check out Phuket. Right now we're gonna be checking the eastern islands. Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Tao for the first time. This is where I'm heading out tomorrow, or actually later tonight. But Bangkok, no matter the year, no matter what I'm doing, I end up here, and there is a reason for it. I would say it's not just one of the most interesting cities in Asia, but truly in the world. And what you do have to add is it's one of those cities that you can love, but you can also hate it. It depends what you do. Actually, also here with the boys, they were like, oh, what is this, like, Nana Plaza? What is this, whatever? So basically we went to some slightly unsavory streets, let's say it like that, just walk through. But those are areas that if you happen to live close by, you might not enjoy Bangkok at all. So always be careful. So I'm just actually hanging out here, and I'm trying to understand why I enjoy Bangkok so much. Like, I don't know if I would wanna, I think the longest I've ever stayed in the city was maybe like 2 months without break, maybe with a little island break. But I'm actually thinking that it's the perfect mix for me personally of, it has a grit, it has a buzz, it's always so busy. If you choose Bangkok to be this way, if you go to the certain area, yet it has chances to go into more quiet areas, more peaceful park, more neighborhoods where not as much is going on. And even like in the more touristy areas, like the only thing that might happen is like a tuk-tuk driver might approach you, and only if you choose to go to the streets, they will insist on you perhaps watching a ping pong show or some stuff like that. But if you don't walk in the streets, you will never experience this side of Bangkok. And so I do like the fact that it has, on the one side, it is peak modernity and innovation, and depending where you go, you feel this old life, slow, old school. It's like time has stopped, and that exists parallel next to each other, and makes Bangkok honestly feel quite cozy. And so we are gonna see each other on the islands. Until then, you can join me on Instagram to see where I am right now. And this has been Bangkok in February 2026. Cheers. We did it again. Bangkok got you now.